we're here. We just want to come all the way around the point. It shouldn't take all that long to get down there, I don't think, as long as there's no places we have to get out and walk.
Yeah.
But here's where I want to be.
Okay.
That's the stand, so we're going to have to walk that distance there.
yards.
But we'll have a northwest wind blowing back towards the river. We should be good.
Perfect. I'm excited.
We just got to be as quiet as possible going in.
A little bit of wind should help us.
Well, it's about 12:15 here. It's the afternoon of December 22nd. And Josh and I are getting a little creative this afternoon and a little more aggressive as well. We brought the canoe with us and all our gear down here to the river. So the way this farm sets up, there's a peninsula that's a big bedding area. So our plan is to, I've talked about it before, but this farm doesn't have any food to speak of. So I'm trying to get a little bit creative in the way I hunt these deer late season. We still have a lot of bedding, so there's still a lot of deer that bed on us that you just can't hunt the food source. So I'm trying to get tight to the bedding this afternoon. And the plan is to take the canoe and go in the river around the peninsula on the backside, on the downwind side of it, and get really tight to where those deer are bedded. And if we can get in clean, I think we'll have a really good hunt. But that's going to be the key. There's going to be about 40 yards probably between the river and the tree stand that we have to get to and hang one stand. So that's probably going to be the key to it, but I'm excited to see what happens here. There's like I said, there's a lot of deer that bed back there, and this is the way to do it, especially when I'm bow hunting and not gun hunting. I gotta get tight to these deer, and Josh has his bow as well. We have more gear than you can imagine trying to fit in this canoe, but it's going to be fun, and I think both of us will have a good chance of seeing something. There's one deer in particular that Josh is after, and we've encountered him a number of times. That's Rex. He's probably the more likely buck to encounter, but there's some other good deer that have been through this farm through the season too. So I'm excited to see how this goes, and hopefully we get in there clean.
Hey, on the bright side, at least we don't have like $25,000 worth of equipment in here. Yeah, we'll just go around the bend. Yeah, there won't be any. Yeah, this is not something I'd try with a stranger. You have to have good communication. Oh man, dude, you're like a good 2 inches from your boots. Well, a little bit of an update. This is a lot more hazardous than we thought it was going to be. We've only tipped the boat almost once, which is good. Do you have any thoughts, sir?
We're not going to get there in time to hunt.
Oh boy. Dude, this is a good ab workout.
Just don't drop that Sony in, please.
We gonna try it? Don't we have to get all the way down there, basically?
Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cabela's, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, Hoyman Tree Saws, Muddy Outdoors, Nikon, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Rocket Broadheads, RTP Outdoors, Trophy Rock, Spot Hog Releases, Wilderness Athlete, Viking Solutions, and Realtree.
It's about 2:30 now. So obviously that was a long journey getting in here. From the time we left where we put in at to the time we're ready to hunt here in the trees, 2 hours. So we had never been out on the river, or at least through that stretch, and there was a lot of shallow spots where we had to get out and walk. And then there was a big rock rapids that basically went across the entire river. So that was a big hold up there too. But we finally made it in, and as far as we know, we didn't spook any deer, which was my main goal for getting into the spot. So hopefully that's a good sign, and not a sign of there not being any deer in the area. But you know, this is just one big bedding area back here, so I gotta believe there's some deer. And we'll eventually see them as they get up and start to leave for the night. I've been in this spot twice now. This is my third time in, and I've had good hunts every time I've sat here. Both times I've encountered mature deer. So I'm hoping that string of luck continues. One of the other reasons I wanted to do this river access tonight is because we got some cold weather coming. I don't think it's going to be above freezing for a while. And so there's a good chance, with as shallow as it is, it'll start to ice over soon. So it's kind of like, if we want to try it this year, it was now or never. So it was a good experience. We had to at least try it once. I'm not sure how anxious I am to try that again, but you never know. Could have a great hunt tonight, and it'll all be worth it.
it was so perfect. It couldn't have got any more perfect for me to shoot. It was right there. That's how it goes. We almost pulled that off. It's about 3:40 right now, so we got a full hour before sunset. And once again, Josh and I can't get much closer than that. That's the deer I call Rex, and he was, like I said earlier, he was the most likely candidate tonight. And that's the deer that Josh has been trying to kill on this farm when he's been hunting with me. I had looked up and I saw a buck following a doe and realized there's 3 does or maybe a couple fawns, I'm not sure, but Rex was right behind him. And probably, I don't know, 50 yards out, Rex decided to stop and feed. And the does kept coming, so the gap got wider between them. And one of the does, where we crossed the trail, coming off the river, picked up our ground set and cut in towards our tree. Just got nervous and ran back that way. But it's just one of those things that was so close. If Rex would have just stayed on him, he would have already been in bow range by the time she spooked. But that's how it goes. That's bow hunting. Late season like this is so tough. No cover. There's basically no wind right now. It's dead calm. So without a doubt, you gotta have everything line up on a hunt like this, but it's pretty cool to know we got that close. And our plan tonight actually worked. But who knows? Like I said, we have a full hour left. That's the benefit of being deep in the bedding area like this. You get that earlier daylight movement. So hopefully our night's not over. Hopefully we either have him or another buck come by. Rex didn't seem all that spooked. It was more the does. Rex didn't really know what happened, so let's hope for a good last hour of the night. Can you shoot right there? Yeah. Where's he? I don't know where he's at. Right side. Rex is right there. Don't move. You see him? You see him? Don't move. Don't move.
Well, it's like deja vu. That Rex deer, I think he's got 9 lives or something, because we've gotten so close so many times. I've passed him a couple times this season, but what's that, your 3rd encounter?
Yeah.
Now with him?
3 times.
Been super close. This last time, this doe, he was following a doe again, and 40 minutes probably after our first encounter, he came right back in with this doe. They came on the opposite side of the tree this time, but there's trails all over in here, but there's one trail at like 5 yards, and unfortunately the doe took that trail, and she got to right below us basically. And like I was saying earlier, late season, there's no cover up here, so I'm sure we're sticking out a little bit and potentially skylined, but she got to 5 yards and looked up and didn't like it and ran off, and Rex stayed out at about 50, and he eventually spooked as well, so I think we're probably done for the night. We have another 20 minutes left till the actual sunset time, so we'll hang in here, but I don't have much confidence in the rest of the night.
And the real journey begins.
And then we gotta figure out how to get back, but we'll see. It's been a roller coaster of an evening so far. Can't get much closer than that. Got a few more deer working their way through at about 100 yards, 125 yards. But we're going to try to get things wrapped up. I got dinner I got to go to tonight. And judging by how long the trip here took us, I imagine it's going to take even longer in the dark. So go get back on the river and try to make it back. But overall, it's an exciting night for sure. It's pretty cool when the plan comes together, or almost comes together, I should say. So it's fun, good learning hunt, knowing that we can get back in here like that, get in tight to this bedding area clean. And just the story continues for Rex. I think his days are numbered if we continue to hunt this farm. And of course it is muzzleloader season. We could bring the gun in here, but both Josh and I are more interested in the bow, and it's that kind of thing that keeps us coming back. So exciting night, and well, I'm not looking forward to the trip upriver. I'm looking forward to getting back in here for another hunt and seeing if we can catch up with Rex.
In this episode, Jared's been talking about how to hunt the late season without food sources, and I'm going to find myself in that situation soon enough, I'm afraid. My food plots are starting to get depleted, but I do have one tonight that I'm going to hit that I think has a little bit left in it. So I'll start my hunt there, and then I'll wrap up after the hunt. Chocolate bar.
Might be.
Yeah. I'll bet you anything it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's him. Ended up having a pretty good hunt this evening. It started slow enough, but then right at last light I saw a buck that we've gotten a lot of trail camera pictures of starting back in September right on through early part of October, and a buck that we decided not to hunt. We kind of nicknamed him the chocolate rack buck because he had a really brown rack back in September. I think he's only a 4-year-old. Nice looking deer. It's fun to see at least somewhat of a mature buck on his feet in daylight. This coming week, in fact these next 2 weeks in the forecast, are going to be a lot colder. So I do think if you've got a tag in your pocket and a food source, mine are starting to play out. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm starting to run out of food here. But if you've got a good food source, that's where you're going to catch them. Otherwise, it gets a lot tougher. The late season can be a lot more challenging if you don't have a good food source. Well, it's Christmas today, and if you read the second chapter of Luke in the Bible, you'll find the story of when Jesus was born. And at the end of that, the angel goes to the shepherds in the field to bring them glad tidings of great joy. And that's what we celebrate this season. So just don't lose sight of the fact that we're celebrating the birth of Christ. And that's what the Christmas season is all about. From all of us here at Midwest Whitetail, to all of you and your families, we wish you a Merry Christmas. And we'll see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Midwest Whitetail. And remember to always dream big.